Guys, today we got the best sneakers dropping in May. Resellers think that they've saved sneakers, and the Cenat scam has gotten so much worse. Welcome to Sneaky Sunday. Quick reminder, Sneaky HQ drop is going live at 6 p.m. today. I'll put up all of the different times depending on what region you're in. Again, if you don't know, this is items from my closet, my sneaker collection that I am putting on this website for absolute steals. We're doing this every single Sunday, so if you want to be part of it, make sure you sign up to the email list, and that way I can give you early access and exclusive discounts. We're adding a bunch more products for drop 2 and potentially discounting some other ones. If you were part of last week's drop, let me know down in the comment section what you got. I know some of you got some crazy steals. Of course, members are going to get access first along with some exclusive discounts. But with that being said, let's get into the video. First off, the Air Jordan 1 Low OG Band released. Now, I think it was like a smaller release because there's going to be another one on the Nike Sneakers app, or maybe it was just for you guys out in the US. But that happened yesterday, and it's a little bit interesting. So we have this post here by a sneaker resale Instagram page, I guess you could say, and they say, believe it or not, Jordan Brand has a demand problem. They point out that it's going for under retail on StockX. They followed it up by this comment: my fellow resellers, please come back and save the sneaker market. So this got me thinking, like, did resellers save the sneaker market? Was that something that really propped up the Jordan retro craze? However, Jordan Brand having a demand problem does seem pretty legitimate. Let's take a look at some of the latest releases. You can see this pair of Jordan 4s sat in a bunch of different sizes. Same thing for the Toro Bravo 4s, which I think only released later on for you guys out in the US. These things, I mean, not a single pair has sold out. White metallic 5s, fully stocked. Flight Club 4s, still very, very available. Flight Club 1s, again, same story. These are just some of the latest releases. If you go to StockX, you can find tons of other crazy steals on retro Jordan sneakers that have released over the past couple years. This is not news. This is something that we have known for the longest time. However, I do feel like right now we're at a little bit of a tipping point. What is the solution to this? Is it a problem to begin with? Because now we can pick up any of these pairs for sometimes a steal. I mean, I've grabbed some retro Jordans for like 50% off, which is insane. But to answer this post, I think it's pretty ludicrous to say like resellers could come back and save the sneaker market. I don't think that is the problem at all. I think that would only create more problems. Resellers were only there in the first place because of the demand of the retro Jordans. I just feel like now it could be a little bit more of a thought experiment, something that I'd like to ask you guys. Hypothetically, what do you think Jordan Brand should do in this situation? Should they start making less retros? Should they continue how they are and just keep on pumping them out and allowing people to get them for retail or oftentimes less? Or do you think that the whole retro nostalgia thing has kind of run its course and people are getting tired of it? I'd love to know your thoughts down in the comment section, because this is something that we're going to see throughout the year, and the hype factor is probably not coming back anytime soon. But speaking of the Toro Bravo 4s, I will mention that for you guys out in the US, they only release on May the 30th. And again, you guys probably know that they have dropped a little bit early in some other regions, but that is certainly not the only big release happening in May. In fact, there is so much dropping, we need to go through it, and you definitely need to prepare for what's dropping so you can prioritize. First off, May the 6th, we've got Pharrell's Ice Cream Board Flip dropping with Reebok. Obviously, this is going to be a global release. 2 different colorways, the red and pink and the pink and green. New Balance is celebrating their gray days. There's a ton dropping, all at random different release dates. You got this super clean pair of 1080 V15s that is available now. However, I think the highlight for me personally has to be the New Balance 2010 in this metallic gray color. These are going to be dropping May the 8th. Another banger is, of course, the Absorb 2000. These are dropping May 15th. These ones I have yet to really try out. I did buy a pair and I tested them out a little bit, but haven't really tried to, put them with different outfits. This metallic color is not really doing it for me, but there is a bunch of other ones of the 5030 model. Either way, if you like these, May 15th. We got the 1890 model on May the 22nd, and those are kind of the highlights. But yeah, if you're into New Balance and you like their gray stuff, then this is a pretty good drop. Zellerfeld and Nike updated the Air Max 1000, and this version is now called the 1000.2, just to add more numbers to that name. For the most part, it looks the same as you can see from this photo here. However, you can see the 0.2, the 1000.2 in the Air unit. So they made a few different adjustments with the outsole midsole. It's actually visually different. The fit is also a little bit better, and it's going to be more widely available. So they've actually upped the numbers on this thing. The raffle opens in 1 day, 7 hours, and it should have a Nike sneakers app release, or we'll have to wait and see. But this is going to be your best shot going through Zellerfeld's website. Potentially at some point in May, we're going to be getting a Bape loafer sneaker. This is called the Loafer Stud, and it actually dropped in Japan on May the 2nd. However, there potentially could be a wider launch. I don't know. I mean, there's so many like sneaker loafers. Did we need Bape to come through and make one? Probably not. Sneaker loafers has become an entire category, so I don't know. But either way, we don't have an exact date for the global launch just yet. But if you do like these things, I'll give you an update. Nike and Travis Scott might be dropping football shoes this month. It's called the Phantom 6. There's both the cleat version, which you can see from these photos over here, a literal pair of cleats with a reverse swoosh. But then you also got the, I guess, more sneaker version, or the indoor football version, which is this pair over here. No exact release date, retail price of $200. And yeah, I mean, I don't really think this is a great, I mean, it's something different, but is it necessary? In my opinion, it almost like waters down the whole Travis Scott collaboration. Like, what the hell does Travis Scott have to do with football shoes? I don't know. However, one of the biggest releases of the entire year is actually also happening in May, and Travis Scott is involved. He's dropping 2 Jordan 1 lows. This is the muslin colorway, and this is going to be dropping May the 22nd, which I will say, put a pin in that, because it seems a little bit unlikely that these will actually drop on May the 22nd, but here are the best images that we have of these things yet. Pink is definitely the color of May right now, or maybe the color of summer. There's a lot of pink sneakers dropping. Yeah, these are the shoes that Tim Cook has been rocking for the longest time now, and of course they're going to be accompanied by the tropical pink version on the exact same day, so you might need to like, I mean, you're probably going to go for both of them, but if you could only pick one, which one would you pick? In my opinion, I'm taking the muslin pair. This one, I'm just not a big fan of the red swoosh. If they had a sail swoosh on it, I might prefer these. But yeah, the muslin is definitely the one for me. May 22nd. We'll circle back to that release date, because apparently on the exact same day, the Nigel Sylvester Jordan 4 is also releasing, which is pretty strange. So we know that the Bike Air, the brick after bricks are definitely going to be dropping May the 22nd. So that does kind of lead, like, would Jordan Brand really drop 2 of the most like hyped up collaborations on the exact same day in the exact same month? Or would they spread it out to kind of, you know, I guess separate it a little bit? We're not entirely sure, but as of right now, both of these shoes are supposed to be dropping on the same day, which makes it like 3 crazy releases. But I'm just gonna put it out there, if I had to choose between the Travis Jordan 1s and these things, I'm taking the Nigels. I would love to know, which one would you take? You can't have both. You going Travis or Nigel? And if anybody's still after the Nike Mind clogs, we've got a restock of these 2 colorways happening on May the 21st through the Nike app. There's a bunch of different restocks happening throughout the year, so you just kind of have to pay attention and try and grab the color that you want. Speaking of the Nike Mind, this is an interesting new version of it, the Nike Mind 002 Flyknit version, which honestly, I'm really not messing with this one. It looks like some of those really weird ISPA shoes that they were doing a few years ago, and it's just, man, like, really? If you're gonna be using the whole like Mind thing midsole, at least throw something a little bit more wearable on top. Either way, this new version is gonna be dropping at some point this spring, so should be somewhat around the corner. Like, let me know, what do you think about this? Are you rocking this pair of shoes? But one of the more interesting updates, the only reason we have an actual image of this pair of shoes is because Nike is coming after sneaker leakers. We're all pretty familiar with the sneaker leak game. That's what this video is based off of. We look at different upcoming sneakers and the leaks and the rumors around the release dates. Well, Nike turned around and said that, why are they going to other pages? Come to us. We will ungatekeep all of our upcoming releases. So they introduced a new thing called Sneakers Verified, an always-on editorial dedicated to the upcoming season's most anticipated drops. So it's something that takes place on the Nike sneakers app, and I think it's inevitably doomed, because at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, okay, cool. cool Nike is showing off all of these shoes that are upcoming, but at the same time, it's like people don't really look at leaks and stuff like that just for unlimited positive positions on product. You know that they're never going to say anything negative or have any kind of contradicting non-positive position on their shoes. But all of these other different media outlets that are actually writing articles about these upcoming sneakers, they're going to have a little bit more of a nuanced position where they're like, well, is this a cool thing or is it not? But you'll never get that from Nike. So I don't know, it could be cool to actually get some release dates on stuff, but as far as like actual opinions on the product itself, it's definitely not something that I'm that interested in. Either way, they did showcase a bunch of different upcoming stuff, which funnily enough, we have seen all of this. Nike, you're late to your own leak. And recently, Nike laid off a ton of people, but they're actually hiring for someone who's going to help them bring more pre-orders to the market. So it does seem like Nike is trying to do this whole sneaker pre-order thing quite heavily. They've launched quite a few different models now. They did the GT Futures, they did the recent slides for Sneakers Reserve, and now they've just listed a new job position that you can apply for called Energy Pre-Order Program Manager. So this is just to help shape the whole pre-order system. And I don't know, have you guys actually bought stuff from the pre-order system yet? What are your thoughts about it? Do you not mind waiting ages, months on end to receive your product? I haven't tried it out just yet, so I'd love to see your opinion and if it's actually good. A couple little other updates for later down the line this year. First is that the Air Jordan 1 High OG Royal is returning on October the 10th. You won't find that information on the Nike Sneakers app. And as far as I can understand, it's coming back just true to the original. No big changes, nothing too crazy, but yeah, as soon as we get some actual images and a little bit more information, I'll let you guys know. A little update from last week, the Laser Jordan 4 story that we spoke about, it's actually going to be a pack, and it's not dropping this year, it's dropping next year. So this is going to cost $500 to buy them both together. I don't think you'll have the opportunity to buy them separately. It'll come in probably a box of both of the shoes. Again, it should look exactly like this, true to the OG. I don't know if they'll make any changes or not just yet. We haven't got any information on that. It's a spring 2027 launch, and as far as we can tell as of right now, it'll be around February, dropping as a box set through the Nike Sneakers app for $500, and there may be an ultra limited select retailers that also get it. Pharrell and Adidas just teased an upcoming pink colorway of the Jellyfish sneaker, although it did say friends and family on the box, so this could just be a limited little run that they did for the F1 in Miami that is only for friends and family. So you can see from this unboxing, it says for friends. It comes in a really cool box. I don't know why they didn't do this with all of them. I mean, we're paying so damn much for this retail price on these things. Either way, the pink colorway, like I said, there's a lot of pink sneakers this year. Is this my most anticipated color? Not really. I mean, if you've got any of the last ones that they've done, the orange, the blues, the greens, the grays, those are all better than these, but I could definitely imagine people still want this one, but we'll have to wait and see if they actually release. We might have just got our first looks at the upcoming Anthony Edwards 3. This is a sample right here. Now, I think we did see some early leaks of this, but this is actually like the first photo of it. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it might be a little bit of a step backwards from the AE2, in my opinion. Kind of looks like a little bit of a combination between the AE1 and the 2, so it's just really not my favorite look of this design. Maybe it is like such an early sample that they are going to change things, but if it launches like this, might be the downfall of the AE sneaker. I don't know, that might be a little bit extreme. But yeah, hopefully they do make some design changes to this, but let me know what you guys think. Oh, and apparently it's dropping this year for $130 during November, so maybe they won't change the design. If this is the AE3, are you a fan? Please, Adidas, release these mules. Take a look at these, man. The Adi Mule Superstar. Now, this account is saying that they're coming soon. However, they have already released in Asia, I believe Thailand, maybe some other regions as well, probably China as well, but they have not released globally. So is this going to be one of those shoes that only releases in Asia? Because Adidas does like to do that. A lot of their best freaking products are out in China or different Asian countries, and these things look so cool. You've got like these metal studs dotted around it. Obviously, you've got the shell toe design based off of the Superstar. These things look so sick. I'm crossing my fingers that Adidas brings them to a global launch because, man, I would snap these things up instantly. Adidas also teased a Bape collaboration on the Evo SL, which is pretty interesting. I don't know whether this is 2 different sneakers, or it's going to be like 1 pair, and you've got like the right foot blue, the left one pink. Nevertheless, this is what the early leaks look like, and it does kind of make them look like they're going to be mismatched, but I hope not, because the blue pair kind of goes hard. I do like the look of those things. Either way, no exact release date from these. As you could tell by the photos, still very, very early images of them, so I imagine they drop deep into summer or later down the line this year. But let me tell you and warn you about one of the craziest scams going on right now, which is affecting so many different brands and ultimately so many different people. So if you guys don't remember, I covered the Cenat story, which happened a few months, I think maybe in January. Cenat announced his streetwear brand Vivet, but what happened after absolutely cooked some people. So a ton of fake websites popped up online, and they looked pretty similar to something that Cenat would drop. The websites were all these random different products. They were kind of based off of stuff that he had leaked or stuff that maybe Cenat would wear. People were talking about it in different short form videos like, man, Cenat dropped this for $220. What a great deal. It sold out. People spent, allegedly, there was $100,000 that went to these fake websites because all of the products did not exist. None of these websites were from Cenat himself. So you can see if you just Google Vivet, a bunch of these different pages come up where you've got like vivetwears.com, vivetboots.com. None of them are the official website, which is vivetofficial.com. So they have little spin-offs of the original website. All of these products were AI generated, and this was the biggest thing that I would say probably started this scam to turn into something that affects so many different brands, almost all of them. Because of AI, building a website now can just be done like that. So you have a bunch of scammers who are creating websites of specifically smaller streetwear brands or creator brands. This is a fake website based off of 7th Clothing. The header looks amazingly close to what they actually have. The domain is 7thstoresuk.com, which seems like something that would actually be genuine. This looks like a little bit of an archive sale thing that the official brand is doing because the prices are still extremely high. However, they're discounted. But all of these products are just an AI replica of the genuine website. And 7th had to put out an email to their customers saying that a lot of them have been messaging about this scam, losing money, because literally what will happen if you order these products is they'll probably try and charge your card a couple times, and then they're not going to send you anything. They're going to run away with your money and the website will just disappear. This happened to us with so many different websites with Unlucky Cloud. You have these random ass pages selling the Unlucky Cloud hoodie for $80. This is an AI generated, albeit terrible image of our hoodie taken straight off of our website. Like, what is this photo? MC, and there is a ton more, and we've been working tirelessly to try and get these websites taken down, but unfortunately we've also had a lot of emails from people saying that they have lost money and they bought these things and they're waiting for their product, and we're like, we have nothing to do with these websites. Some more examples. There's this website over here from Central C. It's fake. It's got all of his brand Cinna, these Cinna logos. Again, this is all just AI generated slop that they're charging $100 for, and people don't check the domain. That's the most important thing. Check the domain, cross-reference it with the website from the brand's Instagram or something like that, and make sure you're ordering from the official website, because this one says cinnaworld-shop.com. Could be genuine. Cortez and this website. Broken Planet and this website. The scale of this has gone in so crazy that almost all brands are getting ripped now because of AI. They can just create 100 different websites and it's all just done like that. Why they choose the smaller brands is because they don't have crazy legal teams to obliterate them and find out who they actually are. A lot of people will fall for it as well, because usually a lot of these smaller brands are doing it through drops, and drops are easy to kind of capitalize on, because if it sells out or if they're available in a Google search, then they can absolutely take advantage of people. Point is, if you're buying from Unlucky Cloud or any of these brands or any brand at all, just cross-reference the URL on the official social media platforms for these different brands. Whether it's Unlucky Cloud, make sure you go to the Instagram, look at the URL, which is only ever going to be sold through unluckycloud.com. That's how you make sure you don't get scammed. And if you unfortunately did get scammed by any of these websites, make sure you try and get your money back. I'm not entirely sure how that process works. Maybe you can charge back or something like that. But yeah, just be very, very careful. Always double check if you're ordering stuff from any smaller brands, little streetwear brands, or creator brands. Cenat opened opened us up to a world of scams that we never thought was possible. This is out of hand. But that wraps it up for this week's episode of Sneaky Sunday. Don't forget, we are dropping 6 p.m. today. These are the times. Sneaky HQ. Grab yourself some steals. Subscribe to the channel to make sure you stay up to date with the latest news. And of course, like always, I'm going to leave another video in the top left-hand corner. Click on it to check it out.